What is up, everybody? Today we're back with another video, and we're going to look at the video of what if Kenya made an empire. And I got this from a video suggestion. I forgot his name or her name, I don't know. And I just wanted to make this video for them, and I want to see what will happen if Kenya did make an empire. So let me just make my slide, and let's start the battling. So we have Kenya over here, and Kenya borders Uganda, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Somalia. The first thing Kenya would probably go for, or first country, is probably Uganda. Now, the reason why they go for Uganda is because Somalia over here goes up all the way to north. But Kenya's right next to Uganda, so they'll go against them first. So Kenya starts going into Uganda, and I believe Kenya is stronger than Uganda, so I think this would be an easy win. Let me know let me know what Uganda's capital is. I don't know if they already caught it already, because again, I don't know every capital. So I just went to DR. I don't know why I did that. So now, yeah, they would easily annex Uganda, since this video is about Kenya, and I just gotta buff them a lot. So we're just gonna erase this and make them connected into one country. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah. So now they border Rwanda. That's not Burundi, that's Rwanda. And what they would go for next is probably Somalia, since Somalia is a country that's really, really weak. So yeah, they would go for Somalia next. So they'll start coming all the way over here like Somalia expected. And yeah, Somalia isn't really going to win this war. I mean, it's pretty hard to win against a country that already invaded another country. And yeah. So Somalia isn't looking pretty good. And yeah, they're pretty much cooked already. And Somalia, yep. So let's look at this peace treaty right here. So there will be two things that will be happening with Somalia. Now, the first thing that would probably happen, is that, yeah, they would get this piece over here. Uganda would get this piece from Somalia. So that they're bigger now. And after that deal, they make Somaliland independent, making Somalia a very small country now. Literally, this is Somalia. This is literally Somalia over here after Somaliland's independence. And yeah, they're pretty much cooked. And the reason why the reason why Kenya made Somaliland independent is because, of course, Somalia is going to battle them, but that will make them weaker. So that'll give them an opportunity to, again, invade them. But we'll get to that later. So, Uganda's pretty strong. I mean, not Uganda. I mean Kenya. So they'll be going for Burundi. And yeah, this is going to be the most easiest war of their life. So, yeah. Did this tiny border over here. They might try to invade Tanzania. I don't know. They would also try to go for Burundi over here. So yeah. They would also go for Burundi. And yeah. Boom. So yeah, Rwanda and Burundi have officially been invaded by Kenya. So Kenya's looking like this right now, which is pretty weird. I mean, the borders look really, really weird. Of course, Africa is not happy with this. Again, probably. I forgot to mention. If I don't think any other countries can't get involved except for countries in Africa. So the United States wants to get involved, they can't, and neither the United Nations. So yeah. Tanzania would be going next. My bad, wrong slide. Bro. Tanzania will actually be the one attacking Uganda over here to get their resources. So they're starting Burundi over here, which was pretty unexpected from Tanzania, but they quickly catch on and keep going. So Tanzania is making really good progress, but more countries would want to join this war. For example, Ethiopia would help Kenya. And other countries like South Africa, Mozambique, and DRC would help Tanzania with aid and all that other stuff. Ethiopia, compared to all those other countries, is a very, very strong country and holds not Uganda. I mean, they help Kenya with the fight. So they're gonna start pushing Tanzania back and get their mainland back. This is not looking good. They get their mainland back over here. Boom. So they get their mainland back and start attacking back. So they start over here in this area, and Tanzania, of course, is, well, weaker than this Kenya over here who made an empire. They made an empire. Now, while this war is happening, another war would be happening. And that is, again, what Kenya thought, Somalia versus Somaliland. So, but Ethiopia won't help Somaliland, even though they're allies, actually. And they're helping Kenya with the fight. Well, Somalia isn't the strongest country in the world. So this will take a very, very, very long time. So they'll start going into Somaliland over here, since Somaliland is technically weaker after the independence of their country from Kenya. Now, Somalia is brutally losing their soldiers a lot, and this is the only progress they made. But again, this is Kenya's video, so we're going to focus on Kenya more. Stop. So basically, they're going to keep going over here in Tanzania, and now officially got their border. I mean, now they got their border with them. So they will keep going down, and keep going down, and keep going down. The aid from DRC, Mozambique, and South Africa aren't helping right now, since Kenya easily gets through them, and is halfway down. Now, I'm pretty sure I know Tanzania's capital. I just forgot, sadly. So, yeah. Yeah, Tanzania is not looking pretty right now, since they're literally losing the war, and they're down to there. They're down to here, and again, yeah, they're gonna probably lose this war. And let's look at this peace treaty right here after the war. So, yeah. My bad, guys. Yeah. I don't know why I'm not cutting this off, but I'm not. So, again, to make you entertained, I'm going to start talking. So, Somalia's war keeps going on, so we're going to start focusing on this now. Before the peace treaty from Tanzania and Kenya. So, Somalia is halfway through and gets their capital, made up capital. I don't know what to name it, since I am not in the name. I'm not here for making up names right now. So, yeah. So, yes. Oh, well. Somalia is literally losing soldiers every second now, since they're, again, really, really weak. But finally, they annexed Somaliland after a big, brutal fight. So let me just erase this. And again, let's look at the Tanzania versus Tanzania and Uganda treaty. Not Uganda! It is Kenya. I keep saying Uganda for no reason, and that's the wrong one. So this is what it's gonna look like now. So yeah, Tanzania gave up a lot of land to Kenya, but for their own safety of their country. Yeah, they just gave them it. And of course we have the Somalia becoming a country again, becoming a full country after the war with Somaliland. Now, of course Kenya knows about the war, and of course, what do you think? Again, this was their plan. My bad, guys. My bad. So, I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah, I'm erasing it. My bad. So, yeah. So, they'll be going for Somalia after their little war. Yes, Kenya is being evil today. Yeah, it's their war. Not their war, their video. My bad. So, yeah, they're going to start going into Somalia over here. And of course, Somalia is not going to stand up for long. And of course, gets cooked over here. Of course, gets cooked. Yeah, they're not going to win this war. So let's just connect these two. And officially, Somalia has been invaded and is now part of Kenya. This is looking ugly. The borders look ugly. It's fine. If I had Somaliland, this would even look more uglier. So, yeah. Imagine they just go all the way over here into Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, and Egypt. That would just look weird. My bad. I'm getting off track. So, yeah. Kenya over here is looking pretty good. So what they do now is declare war again. So, but again, yeah, Kenya's pretty evil and goes for Ethiopia. Their literal ally to help them. Now, of course, Kenya's buffed, but they won't annex all of Ethiopia. So yeah, actually, you know what I'm gonna do actually instead. I'm actually going to do something else. A civil war. Now, to make this more sensible, you could say, I'm going to do a civil war. Where this side of the country wants to go war from the north. So South Ethiopia and North Ethiopia. So this part of the... Okay, wait. I don't know why I drew a line over here in this layer. My bad, guys. I am messing up over here a lot. So basically, we have a south and north of Ethiopia. So South Ethiopia, of course, borders Kenya and Djibouti. And Ethiopia is divided up pretty well, or pretty badly, literally splitting their country in half. And for the civil war, the south is going to fight the north. Now, in always, the north usually pretty wins. For example, take the Vietnam War, North Vietnam won. And take the Yemen War, for example, and the North in Yemen, of course, won. And the United States as well, who won against their civil war. But this is going to be different. Yes, it's going to be different. This won't look... I'm sorry for anyone in Ethiopia. I'm going to just do this to you. So South Ethiopia is the stronger one over here after their breakup. And yes, they're actually the strongest one. A lot of countries try to help them, but it's not enough. They're getting all of this over here. So, the South is just trap them and also just capture their capital. And now North Ethiopia has officially fallen into the South. I'm not gonna make sure that this is South Ethiopia and not North and not just Ethiopia. It will officially call themselves as, actually, you know what? They'll call themselves as Ethiopia, but under a different government. So, yeah. Like how North Vietnam became just Vietnam after the war with South Vietnam. So, now we have a South Ethiopia ruling the country, and they're going to declare war on countries like Eritrea and Djibouti. Which they will, I'm not going to really simulate it because I'm too lazy right now. And it's Djibouti and Eritrea, so I really don't want to. So they usually won those wars, and now they're pretty corrupt. Now Kenya sees this as, oh no, this is not good. We want to invade you. Since we want to. So Kenya lost their best friend, which is Ethiopia, and all these other countries just hate Kenya now. Since after the war on Tanzania and Uganda. So what they're going to do for Uganda, they're going to actually support South Vietnam, or not South Vietnam, South Ethiopia. Uganda will be declaring war on South Ethiopia over here. And lots of other countries will help South Ethiopia, like DRC, South Africa, Mozambique, Egypt, and Mauritania. And Morocco. This is basically the Great African War. Countries helping Kenya over here is Algeria, Libya, Niger, Sudan, and I don't know, Namibia, you can say. And maybe Mauritania. So this is literally a world war. Literally a world war. So yeah, again, it's the Great African War. So Kenya will start going over here in South Ethiopia and doing pretty good progress over here with all their other help with the aid over here. And South Ethiopia is not looking pretty good right now. They just got their border with Sudan and covered them. And they got their access to the ocean by annexing all of Eritrea and Djibouti. Now South Vietnam has not South Vietnam, South Ethiopia will fall to the Kenyans. Kenya, because of how weak they are after their war against North Ethiopia, and of course all these other countries, a lot more countries helped Kenya in this war. So let's just redo everything over here. So yeah. This is probably one of my most interesting videos yet. Whoever suggested this to me, I forgot their name again. Thank you for suggesting this video. This is actually pretty interesting. So Kenya has all of this now, and what they're actually going to do is help some countries, like Sudan over here, to actually help them a lot. As what Sudan wants is South Sudan, of course. So what they're going to do is declare war on South Sudan. And of course, Kenya is going to help them with this war. And again, I'm not going to simulate it because, again, I'm lazy. And they're going to actually win this war since the help with Kenya. Now Sudan is now officially a thing again. They're also going to give them more land like Eritrea and all of Eritrea. So they're gonna give them this land over here to Sudan, since they're their new best friend. So yeah, so Kenya would just stop after this war, or after this, and now has officially became a greater Kenya. This looks weird. I don't know. So without these normal borders, this is what the world looks like now. You can obviously see Kenya is probably the first thing you probably see because of how it's randomly placed over here. And you also have Sudan over there who has weird borders and looks like someone eating. They're literally Sudan. Wait, why does Sudan look like it's eating someone? I just realized that. Wait, just give him an eye. Wait, he actually looks like he's eating someone. I'm getting off track over here. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you have a great day.